Hello, and welcome to Learn Commercial Real Estate. This class is Real Estate 101. Real estate is one of the most important industries in the world. It's one of the largest economies, and it's very exciting. It's very filled with mystique and intrigue, but it's easy to understand once you learn and able to digest some simple elements. So here we are starting with the definition of real estate. Real estate is property consisting of land and buildings on it, along with its natural resources such as crops, minerals, or water. Immovable property of this nature in interest vested in this is a item of real property, buildings, or houses in general. I got that from Wikipedia. Kind of a tough read, but you get it. Its real estate is property consisting of land and the buildings on it, along with its natural resources such as crops, minerals, or water. Immovable property of this nature and interest vested in this item of real property, buildings, or housing in general. Real estate. Real estate is real property. It's houses, it's buildings, riparian rights, rivers, things like that, water around the buildings. But what is real estate not? Real estate is not personal property. So your jewelry, boats, cars, trucks, things like that, that is not real estate. What about the real estate of your mind? Well, that's another class. So here's a refresh. Real estate is a class of real property that includes land and anything permanently attached to it, whether natural or man-made. And there are four main categories of real estate. 4. Residential, commercial, raw land, and special use. Residential is where people live. That's the homes, condos. Commercial is for business purposes. Raw land is just what it is, raw land. You know, Mark Twain said, buy land, they aren't making any more of it. And then we have special use. Let's give you some examples. In residential, you've got homes, single family, duplexes, and etc. In commercial, you've got multifamily, industrial, retail, and office. Raw land is just that. And for special use, you've got hospitals, libraries, and schools. Think about the commercial properties around your area. Can you start dividing them up now when you see them and putting into these 4 different categories? Try it. Because you can invest in real property directly by purchasing a home, a rental property, or other property, or indirectly through a real estate investment trust. So there's a lot of opportunities to begin to invest in real estate. So basically, real estate includes the physical surface of the land, what lies above and below it, what is permanently attached to it, plus all the rights of ownership, including the right to possess it, to sell it, lease it, and enjoy the land. And in those real estate, there's 4 different types: residential, commercial, raw land, and special use. What are the physical characteristics of real estate? I mean, what it look like? The physical characteristics of real estate. Land has 3 physical characteristics that differentiate it from other assets in the economy. Number 1 is immobility. While some parts of land are immovable and the topography can be altered, the geographic location of any parcel of land can never be changed. Isn't that something to think about? Physical characteristics of real estate 2. Indestructibility. Land is durable and indestructible. It is permanent. I know that says 1, it's supposed to say 2. Sometimes we make mistakes around here. We'll think we got this physical characteristics of real estate right, number 3. Its uniqueness. No 2 parcels of land can be exactly the same. Even though they may share similarities, every parcel differs geographically. And you know what? That's sort of like us as humans as well, isn't it? Land is so fascinating. Land is unique, and it's immovable, and it's indestructible. Those are the physical characteristics of land. What are the economic characteristics of real estate? This is very important to know. Land also has some distinct economic characteristics that influence its value as an investment. Well, some of these would be scarcity. While land isn't considered rare, the total supply is fixed. There's plenty of land everywhere we looked, but they aren't making any more of it. That's a famous quote by Mark Twain. Buy land, they aren't making any more of it. And it's true. There's plenty to go around. But the scarcity is that the total supply is fixed. Another economic characteristic of real estate are improvements. Any additions or changes to the land or a building that affects the property's value is called an improvement. Improvements of a private nature, such as on homes and fences and things like that, are referred to as improvements on the land. Improvements of a public nature, examples sidewalks and sewer systems, are called improvements to the land. And it's those little things in real estate, those words, those 2-letter words, 4-letter words, 6-letter words, these small words that seem to have no consequences sometimes in our everyday life will certainly have consequences in real estate. But you can do it. You can get it. Another economic characteristic of real estate is the permanence of the investment. Once land is improved, the total capital and labor used to build the improvement represent a sizable fixed investment. Even though a building can be raised, improvements like drainage, electricity, water, and sewer systems tend to be permanent because they can't be removed or replaced economically. So the permanence of investment and land improvements is something very important to consider when you look around your town and your city and see the improvements that are hopefully being done in your area or will be done. Or some improvements that have been started and have not yet finished. Another is location and area preference in the economic characteristics of real estate. Location refers to the people's choices and tastes regarding a given area based on factors like convenience, reputation, history. Think about the locations in your area, the districts, that seem to be favored or more popular than others. Or some have a reputation of being dangerous, while others have a reputation of being possibly a lot that hasn't had any improvements on it, that has just been sitting vacant. Location is one of the most important economic characteristics of land. I mean, we know it's all about location, baby. Let's talk about the types of real estate. There are 4 more types of real estate. Residential, as discussed before, and that's any property used for residential purposes. We need to dive into this subject a lot because these different sections of real estate really shape the way a person invests, works, or lives within their work inside the real estate industry. So once again, some examples of residential real estate would be single-family homes, condos, cooperatives, duplexes, townhouses, and multifamily residences with fewer than 5 individual units. And remember that real estate is subject to change among different cities and markets and things like that. But this is the basic understanding of what residential and types of real estate is. And then commercial real estate is any property used exclusively for business purposes, such as apartment complexes with many, many units, gas stations, grocery stores, hospitals, hotels, offices, restaurants, shopping centers, parking lots, theaters, storehouse, storages, warehouses. These are all commercial real estate. And it's different than residential. And being that you decide to work in real estate, you decide whether you want to begin in commercial or residential. The third is land, and that includes undeveloped property like vacant land and agricultural, farming, orchard, ranches, and timberland. Are there any land uses like this around your area? We also have four, special purpose. And the last types of real estate we're going to go over. The special purpose real estate is property used by the public, such as cemeteries, government buildings, libraries, parks, places of worship, and schools. That's four types of real estate. And let's talk a little bit about how the real estate industry works. Real estate is a trillion-dollar industry and includes more than just real property, salespeople, and buyers. Millions of people around the world earn a living or work in real estate. It's not just sales agents. It's not just buyers and sellers, investors and developers. It's more than that. Many professionals and businesses, including accountants, architects, banks, title insurance companies, surveyors, and lawyers, also depend on the real estate industry. Real estate is a critical driver of economic growth in the United States. In fact, housing starts the number of new residential construction projects in any given month. I mean, the statistics released are outstanding. Real estate is such a hot topic and commodity in our society today. When you get to a certain age in our society, you're going to be exposed, asked about, expected to be involved in some form of real estate. Whether it's purchasing a home or renting an apartment, real estate is running the world. Now, the Census Bureau is a key economic indicator. The report, including permits, housing starts, housing completion data, divided into three different categories. So we've got the single-family homes, homes with 2 to 4 units, multi-family buildings with 5 or more units, such as apartment complexes, and then commercial business permits. So there's a lot of different indicators that will tell you what the real estate is doing, and especially in your market. Start Googling, use DuckDuckGo, start reading some verified market reports so you can start understanding the way real estate works in your area. Now, here's back to a real estate refresh. So you can start learning and using the items you've learned today to begin your real estate career, or just have an overall understanding of the ins and outs of real estate. I hope you've enjoyed this class. As a real estate agent, I cannot give legal advice, and none of this is legal advice. This is my information giving to you on how real estate is. I wish you the best of luck. I'll talk to you soon. Don't forget to stay connected. Follow me at DK by the Bay on Instagram. And follow me at Learn Commercial Real Estate on Instagram and Facebook. I'm not hard to find. Let's connect.